Welcome, District 4 Toastmasters. Today we have Rajesh, a candidate for Division Director for this candidate showcase. Please welcome Rajesh. Our first question is, please describe your understanding of the Division Director role.
Yes, um, the role of the division director is to make sure the areas which are in their scope, they make progress towards Toastmaster goals and help the area directors uh, continue to take their clubs to the next level of distinguished performance. Second, I see the goal as building cohesion, in the area directors by means of, regular meetings, by means of personal connections, and then helping the area directors where there are gaps. Perhaps, you know, there are area visits to be made, which may not have been done, or club visits rather, and perhaps there are some contests which may need help. So give a helping hand and essentially inspire them by being a role model, by doing the right thing, showing them the way, and taking the areas within the scope to the next level of excellence.
Describe how you lead a team.
Sure. The way I lead a team is, first, I create a compelling vision and then kind of sometimes co-create the vision or sometimes just create it based on the cultural norms or what is expected as part of the next level of excellence. I then establish personal connections with my team members and look at where are the opportunities to make a difference and to show the way to you know fill the gaps. As an example, there was a club, uh, you know, in my current scope, which is the Walmart club, and this club was struggling, and I established a very personal relationship first with the coach, Tim Carlisle, who helped me kind of give me kind of pointers as to how to help this club. And then I started attending all the club meetings every week and working with the current officers. I actually uh, took on roles for the club. I paid multiple visits and started mentoring some of the speakers. As an example, there was a contestant who did multiple dry runs, and I actually added the idea of props and gave her feedback on how to compete in the area contest, and she actually won. So this is the way my style. I'm a very hands-on guy. I don't work on platitudes. I look at what is pragmatic, what can be done, and work by inspiring people and showing the way and by role modeling. That's my style.
How do you plan on engaging and supporting the area directors on your team?
Yes. So first of all, I would like to establish a regular communication channel. And this could be a monthly meeting or this could be a face-to-face workshop or similar. But I would like to look at the area directors, how their clubs are doing, okay, collect the data for their areas, and then see pragmatically how within 1 year we could take on higher levels of goals for the performance of the club, and how to take them to the next level of excellence. So my style would be create a cohesive, spirit between the area directors, meet them on a very regular basis, uh, practically face to face. But if they, you know, cannot meet face to face because of commute challenges or other things, I would find a virtual platform. But I am a firm believer in human connections, and uh, and then I'm also a firm believer in looking at what motivates people, uh, and make sure that motivation is provided, and then kind of build a community within my scope so that the area directors feel that we finally have a community and we can get help from each other, learn from each other, and inspire each other, and enjoy the journey.
An area director comes to you with a problem about a club not being responsive. How will you support them?
I would first of all gather a lot of data and take multiple views as to what's going on, uh, do a deeper dive, and then consult with the area director and get his or her opinion as to what may be going on. And then depending on the problem itself, uh, take some time, mull on it, not give a knee-jerk reaction, and then find a practical path together to solve the issue. And if the problem is very complex, I would even draw upon on some of my existing mentors and ask for ideas. I have plenty of them in my district, and I would, brainstorm with them and say, "Hey, we are having this issue. What are some possible ways to proceed?" So I am one of those people who takes a problem, first see, collect data, then look at the problem, uh, person who has brought me the problem, and ask, see what he or she thinks is going on, and then together come up with a practical approach.
An area director on your team stops being responsive. How do you handle this?
Yes, it's happened to me quite a bit in my recent, you know, um, role where, well, maybe not an area director himself or herself, but they were club officers whom were not responsive. And the way I approached them was I actually uh, would set up a one-on-one meeting with them over the phone, and some of them I would meet on a personal basis and try to very gently say, "Hey, what's going on? How can we work on this together?" So for me, my approach is a very human approach. It's not me telling you what to do. I don't believe that I have any power, extra compared to, what my uh, club officers or area directors are going through. So my approach is that I set up some one-on-one time, and even sometimes just kick the breeze and then come to, the topic at hand. Uh, I will give you an example. Uh, I was having challenges contacting the Walmart club. The first time I just went to their meeting face to face and attended the meeting, and then I had multiple emails which were not being answered by the club officers, and then I had uh, set up one-on-ones which actually did the trick, and now the communication channels have opened up. So to summarize, it's going to be a very human approach, a one-on-one approach, and then looking at the problem and solving it together.
Different divisions in the district have different needs. How will you assess the needs of your division and help to address them?
Yeah, I'm a very data-driven person, so uh, I don't like to be hand waving or you know shooting from the hip. I would like to gather reports of areas such as membership pathways or dues or whatever it takes for a club, right, to meet its goals. So what I would do is I would run reports for the clubs in my scope, uh, look at where the gaps are, and then work with the area directors and say, hey guys, you know let's make a plan for the next 6 months and let's take these steps. So for me, it'd be a data-driven approach, a human approach, and also an inspirational approach.
What innovative ideas do you plan to bring to the role of division director?
Yes. So I am running a nonprofit in India, and I have been running it for the last 5.5 years. Currently, I am the CEO of this nonprofit, a role which was handed out to me by the team members. And as part of this nonprofit, I have learned how to motivate teams, how to communicate with the teams, and how to recognize the teams for progress made. So I would, and by the way, as part of this role, I started a club in India in my alma mater. It's running today. It's a Toastmasters club. And so I would bring these learnings into my role and look at what are the challenges, what are the opportunities, and then perhaps start some incentive programs or increase some recognition. I'm a student of human psychology, and I love to see how to motivate people, right, and recognize them. So my ideas of innovation would be around human motivation, recognition, and creating opportunities for growth.
Sometimes there are situations where the good of the group differs from your own personal goals. How do you handle these situations and which decision will you make?
I am always about the good of the group. I've been long enough in the corporate world to realize that it's not about you, it's about the team. It's about the company you work for. And I've been burned by it in the past. So I've learned the hard way that one has to, as a leader, one has to weather the storm, one has to handle the turbulence, one has to cut through the smoke and not worry about their personal goals, but make the team go to the next level and make the team feel good about themselves and for the team to reach the next level of excellence, next level of performance. So I would not worry about my goals. I would worry about what would it take for the team to succeed.
Succession planning is important. How will you encourage area directors to take the next step in district leadership?
Yes, I would, on a one-on-one basis, show them the potential they have for leadership. On a one-on-one basis, I would show them the growth by mentoring them, by telling them how my life has been affected because of the roles I have taken. So I would definitely keep an eye on people who have the motivation, who have the potential, and kind of nudge them along on a one-on-one basis. I've done this at my Genentech club when I was the president. I met with a few people and nudge them into the next level of roles. For example, the role of the president, the role of VP membership, and the role of VP education. And I've learned that these are very personal topics. They need to be handled very gingerly and delicately. And one can only understand the motivation of a person when you have that single connection of a human being and then show them what the next level of leadership can do for their career. So I would invest heavily in the succession planning, yes.
As division director, what support would you like from the district?
Absolutely. First of all, I would possibly, seek some mentoring time, not very excessive, but a few people who would open out their calendars and, you know, uh, work with me and help me resolve some maybe, complex issues or something which I don't understand because of my learning. Secondly, perhaps my district may, my division rather may need some budgets or my division may need some help. Okay, so I would seek that help. And then essentially, I would like to make sure that I engage, with the management team, the club growth director, and all the other officials and have a very nice working rapport with them. For example, we are planning to do the TLI, this year, and at Genentech. And the last time I did it, I was very lucky to get good support for marketing, for attendance, for bringing in the speakers. So I would love to get that kind of support for the next TLI, which we are planning on.
Getting volunteers can be difficult. How will you motivate members to be more involved in the district?
Yes, that's a very good question. Um, I think a couple of methods I would use. One is recognition. People love recognition. People love, uh, you know, being publicly told that they've done a good job. And secondly, I would also create opportunities through, area contests or through other channels where they get, growth path as well as an opportunity to shape themselves and get increased recognitions. And then I would say, show them how some of the leadership positions have actually helped people grow their office careers, or adjacent kind of careers. And that would be another method I would use. Yeah.
What is a lesson you have learned in your district leadership journey?
Oh boy, learned plenty of lessons. Uh, I can share one of them. So when I was asked to coach a club which needed help, I thought it would be fairly simple in terms of talking to a few people, the club officers sitting down and uh, seeing what the challenges are. and then working through them. Little did I realize that it was not that simple. I had to join the meetings, I had to learn people's styles, I had to learn the club officers' a human kind of profiles, and then connect with them. And only after that connection and spending energy, the big lesson I learned was it takes energy to really make an impact and make a difference. So, for example, I was doing roles for the club, or at times I would be coaching people outside the club and kind of mentoring them along. And but it paid off dividends. So the lesson I learned was it takes human connections and a lot of energy to really make a difference. And by the way,
What is
am I close to my, I don't know, my closing comments? I don't know, the time. Okay, it's
yeah,
okay. Yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say he's not green yet, but
Okay, all right, got it. Okay.
what is one skill you have to learn? What is one skill you hope to learn as division director?
Absolutely. So, one thing I need to learn is abstraction at the next higher level. I mean, I've been a club president, I've been an area director, so my scope will now increase. Okay, when I was a club president, I was only focusing about my club, 25 members, and making sure the club is on a good path. When I became an area director, I took interest in the, clubs which were in my scope. And now I need to bubble up and work at a higher abstraction level, which means my time is going to be same finite time, but the scope is going to be much bigger. So I'll have to reflect and learn on how I have to use the time to kind of lift the tide for the whole division. And this is a skill I don't have, and I need to work on it. And I am all about learning because when I learn, I enjoy, I feel better about myself. And I'm hoping, uh, as a division director, I would be able to work at a higher level of abstraction and given the same time and the same energy I have, how do I use that for the leadership scope? That's the skill I want to learn.
Describe a situation that was difficult to handle and how you got through it.
Absolutely. So um, there was a time when I was the Genentech club president, and we had no, uh, team members or team members who were willing to take on the president's role. People took on the VP membership, VP education, treasurer, but somehow nobody was rising up to take on the president's role. And I started thinking, how can I motivate a couple of officers to rise up and take on the role? So I actually did some creative thinking, and I started with the plan where there was a person who was a treasurer for a very long time. And this person was doing a very good job. And I fortunately had a very good rapport with this person. And I had lunch with her. And I said, you're doing such a fantastic job at your current role. And you've done this for so many years. But do you realize the potential you have? You have a heart of gold. You have such an innate skill set, which is so close to what a president of the club needs. And there was a time of uh, pushback, so there was uh, kind of a, you know, awkward silence. But that's exactly when I saw the breakthrough happen, when the smile came and the person said, "Yeah, I can do it. I think I have it in me." And I said, "That's it. That's it." So it took me a while for this person to realize her potential, and now she's doing a fantastic job. And that was one of the problems I was very proud to have solved, in a few weeks.
As division director, you will be pulled in many directions, supporting multiple area directors. How are you going to prioritize to make sure everything gets done?
Yes, that's a very good question. I'll have to look at, first of all, the urgency and the importance matrix, right? What is important for the division and what is urgent? And then I'll have to look at the resources which are available to me. And I would prioritize, okay, based on the impact to the, my division. And my priority would be not to just kind of oil the squeaky wheel, right? Or, burn calories on projects which are, or issues which are uh, just kind of noise, right? Or taking attention, but look at the things holistically and invest time, which brings the division the highest bang for the buck. And then I will also want to make sure I can rely on people, right, to 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 help me out. And by the way, I can do my closing statement whenever. Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay. So first of all, I would like to say that I'm very thankful for the Toastmasters, uh, you know, clubs, as well as the Toastmaster experience I've had for the past 12 plus years in multiple companies. I'm very grateful to this, you know, Toastmaster International. I'm also very grateful to the leadership team of District 4. I met some beautiful minds and beautiful leaders, and I want to continue my growth path. I want to continue my contributions. I want to continue meeting new people, and I want to continue uh, making sure my leadership role is implemented correctly, okay, via the expectations, as well as, you know, any help I need. I'm hoping, I could get that from the district leadership. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Rajesh.